Hello, you all most welcome. Yeah, it's Henry the computer guy, and in this video, we are going to be working out UNEB subsidiary ICT 2013 paper 3, but our main interest is going to be on our presentation. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the real practice and see how we can work out this. So what I've done first is to create the document that is having a question that we are going to be following, and it is down here. So let's open it and see what it is telling us to do. So the question is telling us that you have been chosen to sensitize the public about the introduction of subsidiary ICT at A level. So use a presentation software to deliver your presentation with the following content. And slide 1, presentation title in word art, formatted, and you as the presenter. So slide 2 wants an introduction to the subject. Slide 3 wants us to use bullets to outline the reasons for studying ICT. Slide 4 wants us to present the table below. So they want us to make this table into our presentation the way it appears here. And slide 5 wants us to present the first two columns, this one and this one, on a column graph with a title, a graph representing my senior 5 ICT marks. Then they are telling us to use relevant images and colors to enhance our presentation. Then they would also want us to put a head and a footer of our name and personal number respectively. We have to print the slides, and lastly, they are telling us to save our presentation with the name and personal number. So that means that we need to create a folder that will hold our presentation. So what am I going to do? I'm going to minimize my question, come to the desktop, locate any free space, then create our folder. How are we going to do this? We are going to right click onto our mouse, come to the option that says new, then we click on the option that says folder. And having created that folder, we have to give it a name. For example, we are dealing with UNEB 2013 paper 3, and that's going to be our name. So let me type UNEB 2013, and it's specifically paper 3. So you can as well be able to move this folder to any location of your choice. So let's go back to the question and see what they are telling us to do. So we need to start with our slide 1, but remember we have to save our presentation in that folder. So they are telling us that we should save it as our name and personal number. So for my case, I'm going to save it as Computer Guy 001. So let's open our presentation right away. Remember, I've already pinned it onto my taskbar, so I'm just going to click on it for it to open. So having clicked on it, I'll give it some time to load, and this is how it will open. And having opened it, I'm going to come to the option that says File, or in another version, it will be having the Office button. So it depends on exactly what you're having. So I'm going to click on my file. I'll come and select the option that says Save. And having clicked on Save, it is going to ask me for the location where I'm going to save my presentation. But remember, we said we are going to be saving it onto the desktop under our folder we have just created. So I'm going to come and select that desktop. But if at all you don't see the desktop here, at times you can always come and look for the desktop from this section. So I'm going to be selecting my desktop from here because it is available for me. So having clicked onto the desktop, I'm going to locate the folder I've just created, which is UNEB 2013 paper 3, and it is just down here. So I'll click on it, then click on the option that says open. And when I open up here, they are going to indicate for me that I'm on the desktop under the folder UNEB 2013 paper 3. So I'll have to give my presentation a name. Remember, I've told you I'm going to be using a computer guy. Computer guy, let's say 001. If I wanted to put my personal number, for your case, you can always use your personal number too. So I'll come and click on the option that says save. And having saved that, the name will appear at the top here as computer guy 001. So I think now we are good to go. So let's look through our question again. So they're telling us that we are supposed to begin with the slide 1 and put a presentation title in word art format and my name as the presenter. So I'm going to be putting first of all the title, and that title is going to be actually the topic is about ICT. So I'll write something related to ICT. Let me just come to my presentation down here. I'm going to type here, for example, I can type subsidiary ICT at A level. Subsidiary ICT at A level. Then I can come and say presented by, let's say I go down by clicking enter, then Henry the computer. Henry the computer guy. So this is what I'm having, but remember this, they told us that we have to use word art. So I'm going to highlight my title, then I'll come to insert, I'll look for my word art. So when I come to my word art here, I'm going to be selecting any word art of my choice. I can click on any that I feel I want to use. Let me select this one. Having selected that, remember now it has made a duplicate of this. So I'm going to remove one of them by clicking onto this and click delete onto my keyboard such that I remain with only the word art. So I can now move it to any location of my choice. So this is subsidiary ICT at A level. That is the word art I've decided to use. So you can also use any of your choice. Let me also make some modification on this word, for example, by changing it to make it bold, and I can even make it with a red color for it to be visible. So that is my first slide. So let's come back to the question and see what they are telling us to do. So slide 2 requires us to put an introduction about the subject. So that means that we have to go back to our presentation, put an introduction. What I'm going to do is to come to the Home tab, come to the option that says New Slide, and I'm going to be provided with a variety of the slides. So I'll pick the one I feel I want to use. So for my case, I'm going to be using this one. Then I'll come and add some information there. For example, I'm going to be making an introduction about the subject, and that subject is ICT. So let me just put subject, an introduction about the subject. So now, because I didn't want to make the video too long by typing that introduction, I've also created a document that has that introduction. So I'm just going to copy the introduction, then I paste it here. Let me come down here and open that document. So I'll come and select this information, then I'll come and click Ctrl C onto my keyboard, then I'll come back to my presentation. I'll paste it here by pressing Ctrl V. And they're telling us that the term ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology and is defined as a diverse set of technological tools and resources used to communicate, to create, disseminate, store, and manage information. ICT has become a very important part of educational delivery and management process. So I think that is a good introduction for my presentation. I can make it just look like this. It depends on exactly what I want. So I can first of all leave it just like that. So I'll come to the question again and see what is going to be on slide 3. So they are telling us that we should use bullets to outline the reasons for studying the subject. So they want us to put the reasons for studying subsidiary ICT. So I'll come back to my presentation, then I'll click on it, get to my home tab, come and get another slide, then I'll come and put it there. And having selected my slide, I'm going to be adding the content there. For example, let me put that title here. For example, reasons for studying reasons for studying ICT. So this is the title that I'm having. So I need to put some answers here. I've also written them down. I'm going to be copying them from my document by selecting them. So I'll come and select some of them here. Then I click copy. Then I'll come and paste them into my presentation by pressing Ctrl V. So these are some of the answers that I've put. So for example, to encourage the learners to develop as an independent user, to equip the learners with the skills, to promote critical and analytical thinking for proactive or hands-on solutions, to enable students have and easy access to information, and so many others. So these are the points that I've actually decided to put there. Let's go back to the question and see what they are telling us to do. So they are telling us that slide 4, they want us to present the table the way it appears. So how many columns are we having? We have 1, 2, 3. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that we are going to put 3 columns and 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do that. Let's come back to our presentation. Come and put a new slide, for example, title and content. Then after putting it, we are going to be putting, let's say, a title for our presentation. We can come and say, just call it results, because we are going to be putting a table that has results. So we make it as a results. After doing that, we are going to be drawing our table. So I'll come and select the table from here. I'll put the number of columns. Remember, there have been 3. Then I'll put the number of rows and there have been number 5. So I'm going to click OK, and this is how my table will look like. So if I want to modify this table a little, I can come to the design, then look for the different designs that can modify my table to look nice. Let me select this. So I'm going to be selecting this information from the table as I'm pasting it into my work. Let me just come and see the question. So we have 1, 2, 3. But remember, up here, this is merged. So that means that we are also going to do the same. I'll come back here. We highlight the top. And after highlighting, I'm going to right click and come to the option that says merge cells. Remember, I wanted to make it as 1, so it is now 1. So I can now copy my information the way I want. So let me come and highlight this. And after highlighting, I'm going to click Ctrl C for copying. Then I'll come to my presentation. I paste that in here. So I can even decide to put that one in the center by selecting this option. So I'll come back and pick all the rest of the other information. So we have term, let's say Ctrl C. We come and say Ctrl V. Then we come and select this information also. Ctrl C, then we come here, we make it a Ctrl V, then we put it in the center by pressing Ctrl E for it to be in the center. Then we Ctrl E for it to come to the center. I'll come and get this information. Again, we have the comment. Ctrl C, then we come and put it here. Ctrl V, then we can put it in the center, just like that. So we can as well come and copy this information. We have 1, then we have 2, then we have 3. So we'll come and put this as 1. Then we can copy. Let's say we can just type this. Let's say 1. We have this as 2. Then we have this as 3. So we come back and look at the information we are having. So we have 76, 83, 76. Then we have 83. Then we look at another one which is having 79. So we make it 79. So after that, we add the information for the last column, which is good work. Ctrl C. We put this one here, Ctrl V. Then we copy this one again, which is very good. Then we can have this information here. Then we copy this one because it is similar, copy, then Control V. So that is the information we are actually having there. So now we go back to our question and see what they are telling us to do. So they are telling us that slide 5, you're going to present the first two columns of the table above on a column graph with a title. This is the title we are going to be using. So we'll come and copy it from here. So let's come and create a column graph for the first two columns that we are having. So that means that we are going to have this and this such that we can create the column graph. So we need to put another slide. So we are going to come to new, then we come and say we want to get the title and content slide. And after inserting it there, we can also come to this option that says we need a chart. So for our case, we can even say we can put chart here. We can put chart as the title. After putting that, we can come inside here, then we can decide to pick the type of chart that we want. And the question was saying that we are supposed to insert a column. So I'm going to be selecting any from these ones, then I'll come and say insert. And when I open that, it's going to be opening another application for us, which is going to be Microsoft Excel, for us to be able to include in the values that we exactly want. Remember, the first one was having the term and another one was having the marks scored. So that is what we are going to be putting. So let's come and put here the information which is supposed to be there. So here we shall need to put our term. So this is the title that we will use as the term. Then down here, we are going to be putting in the what? The terms. So we have three terms. So I'm going to be putting those three terms. So I'm going to put here, let's say 1. Then we come here and put 2. Then come here and put 3. Then we have to remove this because we no longer need it. The information we have ends on only term 3. So we need to delete this. I'm going to select this row, then I'll right click and come and click on the option that says delete. So it has gone away. So we have these 3. Then we have to come and also fill in this information. Remember, they are supposed to be the marks scored. So I'll come and say marks scored. I'll put mark, then scored. Mark then scored. So I can enlarge this a little for my word to be visible. So after that, I'm going to be adding the what? Remember, we have this information. We have to add the 76, 83, and 79. So I'll come back here and click onto this information. I edit it. So I'll come and type 76 into the first one. I'll type 83 into the second. Then I'll type, let me look at this one that we are remaining with. We are having 79 as the last one. So we come and put 79. So after that, we'll have to remove these other remaining columns by selecting this option, right click, come and delete, because we don't need it. So after that, I'll come and right click again, then I delete the last one by clicking onto that. So that information has gone away. That means that we have our chart as this. So we have the marks scored. So this is the information that we have. But remember, they told us to put a title. So I'm going to come back and copy the title, which is a graph representing my senior 5 ICT marks. So I'll copy this one by pressing Ctrl C. I'll come to my presentation, then I'll come and put it up here. Then I wrap this information. Then Ctrl V. It will come just for me. So having finished that, I'll have to close this Excel sheet such that my presentation comes big. So this is what I'm having. But at times, they will ask you to put some information there. And if I want to make some modification onto the chart, you'll have to click on it. For example, when I come to the layout here, they will ask me for the axis titles. Sorry, for the axis titles. So I'll come and choose the one I feel I want. For example, I want the one which is horizontal, and those ones. So I'm going to be putting a term here because these are terms. Term 1, term 2, term 3. So I'm going to wrap this information. I put term. For example, I'm going to put term. Then I also need this one. I'll come to the axis type again. I'll choose the one that says vertical. Then I want the one which is vertical or rotated. It depends on exactly what you want to choose. So I'll come and grab this information again. Then I can put in the mark squared. I'll put in the mark squared just like that. And whenever you want to, let's say, make modifications into these values that you have used, you can be able to make the changes. For example, when I come and say right click, then edit data, it will have to open your spreadsheet again. You put in the values and make the modifications the way you want. After that, you close it. So that is the chart that we have actually put into our presentation, that is basing onto term and the mark scored. So let's look at the question again. And they're telling us that we have to use relevant images and colors to enhance our presentation. So let's decide to put in some images. For example, if you have some clip arts, you can as well be able to put them there, and some colors to make your presentation look nice. So I'll come and click here and come back to my first slide. So I can come and put in some images here. Remember, I have some images I've already downloaded, but if you don't have the images, you can use the clip art. For example, by coming to this section and say insert, then click on clip art. So you can click on this and type here what you want to look for, then press go. They will give you the images specifically you want to add there. For example, if I wanted to add someone, let's say on a computer, I would add this person here. If I have already downloaded my images, then I would get my images from my computer. For example, by coming and say picture, then I'll look for my desktop. I have some images there, folder, and I'll come and open the images. I can get an image, for example, ICT. I'll click on it, then I can get another one. I can scroll a little, look for another image. I can put, for example, I want to put 3 of them. I can click Control, select the second image, then I can say insert. And when they come, I can decide to click aside to deselect them, then put this one just down here for my sake. Then you can also put this one up here. Because I'm talking about ICT, so I've made my slide look nice. So after that, I can make it smaller if I feel I want. Then I think this is looking nice. So after doing that on the first slide, we can go to the second slide. We can as well decide to put some images aside. Let me minimize this one a little such that I can put some images here. Let me go back to my pictures by coming to insert, come and look for my pictures. Let me look for some two again. Let me look for this one. Let me pick this, then I go down a little. Let me select one more image. Let me select this, press Ctrl, select the second, click insert. And when you say insert, they will come just like that. You have to click aside to deselect them, then you minimize their size. For example, I'll put this one as this. So I'll put it here, then I can decide to put this one again here for my sake. So I can bring them closer, then I can make them a little bit big such that I can balance my page or my slide. So that is what I have on that. I can even come to the title and put in some styles here. For example, I have this. Then I can come to this one. I put my style. Then I can choose this. So I'll come to this one. Also, I choose the style. I'll put this. Then I'll come to the last one. I'll come and choose this. So now I'm making my presentation look nice. We come to slide 3. We can as well push this one a little bit and add some more images also. Make our presentation look nice. We come to insert, come to the option that says picture, then we can be able to select some more 2 pictures from our folder. Let me select going to select this one. Let me see a little bit down here. We can select these members, can select this, then click Control and select one more other. For example, you can have these kids here, just like that. So we can come and click on Insert. And having clicked on Insert, you'll also have to reduce them by clicking aside to deselect them. Then you can handle the parameters. Then you can as well be able to move them to any location of your choice. So this is now what we are having for a moment. I can push this one a little bit up here and down here to make it a little bit big. So those are the two images we have onto that slide. We can also add something here, a little, any one image. So we can come and click onto Insert, then come to the pictures. Then I can decide to pick any image I want to use. For example, let me use this one up because we are dealing with ICT, so I can put it just down here. That is what I had for my presentation. So we can come back to the question and see what they are telling us to do. So we have inserted the images and we have put some colors for the styles for the titles. I think we can leave it there. So if you wanted some backgrounds, you'd also put them there. But for my case, I'm not going to put the background color. So they are telling us that we are supposed to add a header and a footer of the name and personal number respectively. So let's begin by the name as the header. Remember, for you to be able to add an header, you can come to the option that says Insert. Come and choose the option that says Header and Footer. So you come to the notes area. You can decide to put your header by checking it here. Then come and say, let's say I'm putting Henry. Let's say just as my name. I can leave that one there. Then I can say apply to all, but it won't be visible here unless when you put that header using the slide master. That is another way you can put your header. For example, when you come to view and come to the slide master, you can come to the first slide here, go to insert, pick a text box, come and draw it up here for your header to be visible on all the slides. Then you can put in whichever thing you want. I want to put in Henry. I can even decide to put it in the center. Decide to make it bold, just like this. I can even give it a color if they told me to do so. So that is it. I can come back and close my slide master. So that header is going to be appearing on all the slides that you're having. Let's push this one closer down so that our header is visible on all the slides. Just like that, we come even here, we push it a little bit down, then we come down to the last one, we push it a little bit down, just like that. So we are having our header. Another thing we are supposed to do is to put a footer, and the footer will come down. What we are going to do is to come to Insert and come to the option that says Header and Footer. And now in this case, we are going to be selecting the slide and we are selecting the footer. So I'm going to be putting my number, so personal number. I can say, let's say 0701334170. But for your case, you put the number they give you at school, not the telephone number. So even if they tell you to put the slide numbers, it will also just be here up for you. You just come and check this option. Then if they tell you to put the date also, you'd come and click onto this and it will have to either update automatically or fixed. It depends on what the question requires you to put. Then afterwards, you have to apply to all your slides. So it will just come down here for you. So let's look at the question and see what they want us to do next. So we have added our header and footer respectively. So they are telling us that we are supposed to print our slides on one page. That means that we have to print our slides as a handout. So they didn't tell us to put animations. They didn't tell us to put transitions. So we are not going to be putting that. Let's see how we can come and print our slides. Let me close this clip at. Whenever they tell you to print your slides, you're going to come to the option that says File or Office button. Come and select the option that says Print. And When you come to this option, it will give you a preview of how your slide will look like. But remember, they want all the slides on one page. So we are going to come down here and pick the full page or other options. Remember, how many slides are we having? We are having only 5 slides, but those slides have to appear on one slide. So we can unselect 1, we can unselect 2, we can unselect 3, we can unselect 4, but we can select the 6 option for 6. So they will come and appear onto our slide just like this. So that means that whenever you print them, they are going to be appearing on only one page. And another thing you don't have to forget is you have to come here and choose the type of printer that is installed onto your computer that you're going to be using. Then how many copies are you going to be using? You also come and decide from here. So that is how we can print our slides. So let's close this one and go back to our presentation that we have created. So if at all you wanted to add more information there, depending on the question, you'd also do that. So if at all you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell to always be notified when a video has been uploaded. But don't forget to save your presentation by coming to the option that says file, then click on the option that says save. Then afterwards, you can be now able to close your presentation. So this is what we had as our presentation about ICT. Bye bye. I sign out.